might as well kick off then. So, start to receive apologies for absence. So, Nick apparently has a migraine, but may or may not be here. In a dark room, and we'll see how it goes. Next item is to approve the minutes of the last meeting. They don't have any comments on it. That's circulated. Okay, update from me. Start my laptop last month. So myself and the Vice Chair have had a meeting now with Wendy River. Some minor availability to last Monday. So I was at the best of the council. So Chris and I will supply the talk for the next meeting. And to give you the proper 3 days. Yellow Lines, Cheshire Highways have prepared draft feedback on the second informal consultation with residents from Pickmere. This is now going around for internal approval. Once approved, they will be able to share with us. And at that point, there'll be no response to those feedback on our feedback. The process will move to the consultation. Cheshire Police have been very supportive of the village over the last month. Had a number of vehicles towed, a large number of fines have been issued. We're still getting good support from the Police Crime Commissioner and from Testament Bay. And Cheshire, obviously, the Council Enforcement doing their stuff as well. Again, residents are encouraged to report all antisocial behaviour to the police, criminal behaviour, because all that data will contribute to our PSPO. Probably everyone's aware Cheshire Fire Service had to attend the lake on Monday to do with fires. Even though there are the new set of signs that show that fires and barbecues are not pretty around their IROS. I did post on Pickmere Parish Council's Facebook page that there is a national petition calling for the banning portable barbecues, disposable barbecues, exactly. So I would encourage everybody to pump that out and sign that and share it as widely as possible with all your friends, even if they're not anywhere near Pickmere. So we've spent a lot of time speaking with the police. It has been a little bit confusing at times as to whether the hotspot policing initiative that we signed up to be part of had started, whether all this police activity was being charged or not. But I can confirm that after many discussions with many different police officers, that currently up to now, the coming out of the local budgets, nothing that was thus far. It's come from our personal accounts that we've allocated to the hotspot policing. So we have that still in our back pocket to try when we want. So this month we've had meetings with Andrew Southcott, who's the head of partnerships commissioning, the Police and Crime Commissioner, Ali Gabbett, commissioning officer at the Office of the Police and Crime Commissioner, Chief Inspector Zoe Bowden, who's in Mansfield, Inspector Nick Rogers, and Sergeants Helen Percival and Dan Clark. So continue to talk to the police every week, feedback. Things that went well, things that didn't go well. And as a final thing, I'm just pleased to report that the Cheshire Show did pass without the Carmageddon was held in advance despite the visual plan. So that was good. Okay, that's my update. Any declaration of interest, financial or otherwise, intended to generate? No. Okay. So over to the public forum. Would anyone like to speak?
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, I've just come along really to report back on the party by the lake. As I hope you all know, we had it on Saturday night. We had better weather and no football to contend with. And we had a very good attendance. And you'll be pleased to hear that we had made enough surplus to be able to buy the defibrillator box for you. And any other surpluses, we had a debrief meeting on Tuesday, and it was suggested that any other surpluses could be used possibly to buy 2 Tommy silhouettes, you know the things I mean, the black silhouettes that we could put at entrances to the village. So that was the idea that came up, and we're investigating costs, etc. Just on a note with the police, interestingly, I rang Nick Rogers because I'm going through lots of Mayday, and they just said, if you've got an officer that's free on Saturday night, could you just pop down and have a look at us? I said, I'm not expecting trouble, but it's just good to know people know you're about. We got 4 officers in a Shogun locked up and went to walk round the site. And within 5 minutes, another 2 officers came in the patrol car. So with 6 police officers on Saturday night, and with no trouble. But there you go, took his life. But it was
about the noise.
No, it was good to see the community coming together more and more at the fun day. Party by the lake. Yeah. I'm moving on, aren't I? No, it's good to see community coming together. And to that end, I hope the council can support the proposal to open the pavilion, because I think it's another thing that the community can do for itself. And so I hope councillors can support that. And that's about all I've got to say, Chairman, unless you have any questions for me.
No. Obviously, on behalf of Pickmere Council, thanks very much for your efforts. Glad that the event went well. And you didn't have any football and bad weather to attend. Long-made party by the lake.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Okay, so we had a report from Councillor HAGUE. That's the one report I didn't pick up, but from memory, there'll be an update on the bridge being out. So Sophie did arrange a meeting that's available for that update, so you'll inform the council. I bet there was something else.
So she managed to secure a meeting with structural engineers so that both Campbell and Pickmere parish councils can gain a better understanding of the ongoing project. She will share the date and time as soon as it's been confirmed. And the bus service, she sent an email to Highways to ask for their support in reinstalling a temporary bus service for Pickmere until the new bridge is built. The current state confirms that the village is left with no service. She's pressed the matter providing the service in accordance with the Flexi Link transport policy. She'll update much message.
Are we aware of anyone that's reliant on the service?
Yes, there are.
Okay, I'll let David put himself though, to the council.
I don't know, because we set up people volunteering to give them muffs, and it was stuck with our phone numbers. People to contact us. Okay. Not tax. We had a volunteer.
No.
But the bus currently comes to Knutsford, comes to Pickmere and then goes back to Northwich. And you go through Northwich direct to Knutsford, so that's why it's easy. We've been coming.
So the information about contacting this, where was that?
And on the Resident Association, with the Facebook page, and also in the Massive Pickmere Press.
Alrighty. Fine.
There's last month's incomings and outgoings. Was there anything in particular for anyone? Any questions?
Sam wanted to know anything about the breakdown.
Yeah. So you said that.
Oh, right, okay.
It was just, I just thought it's an interesting way of seeing the
Oh, yeah.
yeah. It's good. Because I think regular ones will stand up for us.
Mm.
And then it's trying, there's the one-offs that add to it. And it's good.
The playground, I'm doing inspection, who's that going down?
My inspection company?
So, is independent from you?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's just, and do we have a report about, okay, or it's not okay?
There was.
We do say we try and comprehensive people. We had extra.
Don't be happy, not you.
It was not only photographs and normally what ends up on it is the fact that they say that certain aspects of it wouldn't stand up to British standards now, but are acceptable in regards to the age of it. They were adequate, and then they tell us that there's anything that is dangerous.
We've not received any confirmation. When I sent the invoice back. It's not, I'll have a look. So,
What was the context of those photos? I said? It looked like some rotting.
I went to come and talk and saw some rotting on it. And Peter's obviously.
It's underneath, it's a bracing strip underneath. It's just all come away. Like the screws have rotted away more than the rubber's back.
And I went on top and it's, started.
The roof part is bent and twisted and cold.
So
It gets past its rest.
It's, yeah.
It's not dangerous because it's not something like
No.
it's just
But it-
cosmetic a lot of it.
Yeah.
So the steps is showing signs of rotten and the one, but not that rotten. The books don't mind on it.
No, no,
It's not just good.
yes, I'm sure.
those are the steps.
Me and I'm both into it.
And that's
My
what,
first slide.
that's the, you beat it.
Yeah.
But there was that, sign again, got the wrong information on the clerk's detail, so it's the old email address. And all the back of the signs, totally wrong. In fact, most of it's wrong. And the hedge, obstacle.
And we've had a report that says it's okay, I see. We know it's okay.
Yeah, with regards to
The
they tested.
equipment, not outside.
We haven't,
But we haven't seen them before. So, I do actually normally read the report
Yes,
to see if there's anything glaring obvious.
but it's important, it's for the kids, you know.
Yeah.
And if it's not safe, if you're crying out loud.
It was definitely sensible.
We need to do something about it.
I check it every week and it's,
I know it.
yeah.
but I think probably the best thing is to ask the clerk to either send around the report, put it or on the report. There's everything we discussed with it. I think it is understood, you know.
Absolutely.
Excuse me. Yeah. Anything else?
oh, to be completed in July,
Which,
inspection.
So we pay it up.
So we had to pay it, up front,
Okay.
and it's completed in July. That's why we don't have a call.
Yeah. As I said, they're normally pretty good with the reports.
Yeah.
We're okay with authorising the new payments.
Yes, so one of them is retrospective. The boiler service, so we have the boiler service, is overdue. It's less than last year, but I don't know if that's because everyone's fine and we didn't have to do the work. Last year.
Alright, there's nothing else in minutes, move on to, drilling methods. There was one
Sorry.
I've
Yes, so there is, Frog Lane. Keep going to the spam. Which is really annoying, so I don't check the spam every time. You go 4 days without missing it.
Just from Cheshire is.
Yeah, they all go straight to my spam.
So talking about the notifications, is ending.
Yeah,
So you've actually got your name on it now.
still sending it, even though I've asked them to update it. They still send it to,
That's where.
to draft, yeah. Yeah.
was the person paid one?
So that one is Ewan. The 11th of July.
Somewhere in July.
This one is
Certainly before the next meeting.
yeah, they don't give us much time. They give us 15 days, working days. So this is for mission in principle, construction of up to 2 dwellings, land adjacent to Mulberry House, Frog Lane.
And it's, from that review, not the review, but from the planning commission that's 2 years ago for 2 other houses down there. That was yes, Green Belt, no,
The 3-car garage.
it's once I showed it, I sent you a copy of the planning application from 2019 for 2 houses in the garden with that house. And then around time, near the centre. Pipes down there. And to talk about the that field, which is without for agricultural land, the termed it as grey belt. So it's land in the green belt comprising previously developed land. So never known any development upon that anyway. And it says any other that doesn't contribute to any purpose. So does that mean you can actually leave agricultural land and it becomes grey belt? Because that just makes it a bit of a mockery of it. It's not infilling because the gap is far too large. It's not actually in the village and it's outside of the national regional side. So that doesn't start, the first signs start at Mulberry House and after that it's the national speed limit, which is the ultra lane is 60 miles an hour, I believe. It's classed as a wildlife corridor as well, and part of the like is high distinctiveness as well. So it's yeah. So it's yeah, inappropriate development within the green belt. It's more encroachment, and the village spreading into the countryside.
Chris, if either of you object on, so it's green belt, we always object.
Yeah, it's not religious.
It's not in the bill.
Sorry. There don't have special circumstances which would be
So, green belt, not in the bill.
Big kind of something that's rapidly dwindling.
and no special circumstances.
The other one, the other, indulgence, or against.
Only that it's not in, really in the brain.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, so just.
You don't get a copy of the previous decision notice from.
I've seen it.
Copies windows.
Anyway, we'll make sure that clerk's got it.
Use grammar. You see it then. If I use it.
Do we feel we want to take a vote or we have to? Nobody's going to. Raise anything. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
I think the ones that are on the list, yeah. Maybe just damages up there, but it's something.
And the only.
There's one with the idle off the big bay garage with them themselves and
Which,
yeah.
You know why?
It's a very interesting decision actually, and it's very well worth reading. From the whole economy, it's yeah. It does explain everything as far as things used. And it's mainly on grounds that the property has been developed over the years so many times, and that the normal is 30% uplift in floor space, and this will take it to 170 and 100%. That is one level.
I just did make, but we, the other thing I'm planning I could mention, so I'm reliably informed, I'm a learned colleagues in Winchell Council that the application which that you discussed without me is now going to be considered by Cheshire West and London.
Yeah.
So deliberate. So I guess now we have two agreements now. Just one. Okay. Update from previous meeting. Done.
So I guess the main thing is that the cabinet, the electrician who had quoted, is currently on holiday. He comes back on the 7th of July, so he will let you know. He's available that week to want anything to do it. The cabinet is currently at mine. Big thing. No. Fine. Yeah, I guess the fire safety report we're going to talk about. Later.
We've mentioned that we teach these about the.
So, we have today,
Keep going to look, but it's
yeah,
I know.
so actually, there's nothing new about the works down on the IROS to sort out the drain, but there was another issue to do with foul water draining into surface water.
Yeah.
And the concern was, we certainly think, that some of the water that drains through those two united utilities pipes into the lake is surface water. So the concern was, is there polluted foul water going into the surface water? And what they have said is that they've not really fully answered my question, but what they've said is that they are going to be carrying out some high pressure jetting works in the surface water sewer that was contaminated by the foul water, and that there is a small risk that some of the siltation may convey downstream into the lake during the process of our works. So it would be appreciated if we could advise any interested parties.
Like I said, when I'm going to do it.
Thursday, the 10th of July, barring any emergencies.
So it should be looked.
I think we probably need to do something. I think that's practically solvable. That'd be nice to do.
I mean, so this would be, well, yes,
Yeah.
So that we can,
so I think we need a bit more clarity from them, but I think we probably need to inform people that there's a risk.
I think, to my, just conjecture on my part, but what it sounds like is whatever the issue was, we failed. But when I just did,
Yes. Yes.
what it meant to say.
So what I read from that is that this pipe that has incorrectly had foul water going into the surface water is in the area that does drain into the lake. But it has been doing that for goodness knows how long.
Would the United Utilities themselves put out a sort of like report out on that? Because I think that if we start highlighting that around, I think people will just jump on it and say, really saying that bit.
But that's exactly my concern here. You know, I remember a few years ago when Sam had about losing algae, that's exactly what people said was, oh, you just can't stop this swim.
But I think that doesn't stop us.
Well, you still have to do it.
Oh, no, absolutely, I quite agree, yes, but it's whether we can reinforce it with the message.
With a letter.
Yeah, I mean, it's always worthwhile having something backed up if they would do it. But I think we have a responsibility to mention it. People wish to disregard it as a piece of negative publicity or whatever, and that is their choice. But if we don't do it, and we know that there's a possibility of this, then we are negligent. But if we do it and tell people, then we've done what we need to do. And if we can back it up with United Utilities, all well and good. But we don't need to. We just need to make sure people are aware that this is a possibility. We'll take it to July.
I mean, they're not going to get paid into it.
So, I mean, I think it's a case of maybe stick it on Facebook, stick it on the website, stick it on a notice that probably engage the IROS. Whatever we told them,
Because there is, it's in the other agenda, so
get it backed up if we can.
we're going to talk about it later, but our liability back there, we get known or suspected, basically, and we don't have to, we don't legally like it. And it would, as council to apply, as council institutions, but if we act next year, you know, we're probably fine. So I'm happy to put something out.
The thing is, it's problematic. We've discussed it.
Probably discussed it last time as well.
Yeah, I'm not just.
Didn't quite get as much crystallisation, didn't it?
Yes, 3 minutes to 3, I got that by a second.
That's a bit cool. Thank you. Okay. Just picking up on, so the donation ideas, we actually, we have the idea of, memorial stuff. That it's quite nice.
Nice, really.
What we don't know is, it's one of our target things to be done. Okay.
That's about the people. Where's it going?
Well,
Well,
Hopefully it'll be on the very front of the wall. When I spoke to him, he said that it would be very easy to use the plugs, the electrics that are on that wall anyway.
I'm pitching.
Yeah, so on the, just do it literally on the front, so it's not hidden or anything.
it's going to get the interest building.
And I think it says,
well, we haven't got any notes. Okay, right, so on to reports. So the first one, I believe is from Ewan. We discussed this last month, but this is
We did,
the update.
I'm presuming everybody's seen the report. I'm still keen, really keen to take it forward. Got a group of volunteers, really keen to help out. I obviously would have the letter in, but I don't know where the gate comes into it. We won't be parking on the field, so that's just not applicable. And I don't expect tons of people, I don't, you know, if we get a few, I'll be happy. But it's word of mouth. People know they can walk down on either a Tuesday afternoon or a Thursday, depending on when it is. And that will be lovely. Have interest shown. I've listened to people when they've said, I don't understand why this is not being used. It's a lovely building in a lovely situation. Between 1 and 3 on an afternoon, I don't see that being a problem at all. I'm not saying it won't be, and there won't be instances when there's a lot of people. But you know, by the time, if we get the go-ahead, we take it forward, we're coming up to autumn. And people just maybe pleased if somewhere to wander down, have a chat with people they don't see on a regular basis. I really don't know what else I can say. I feel terrible. I'm a bit shocked by it all, to be honest.
You're talking about doing this every week? Or is it once a month?
That's something every week. But
What we decided at the last council meeting, we were going to try it in August.
we didn't come up with anything. I was asked to come back with all this information.
We're not having a trial.
Well, it will be a pilot scheme. But down to you guys, isn't it?
Well, it's my question, I think it's a really good idea. If had some more activity during the week, actually modified my walk home and walk past the IROS, got down to the IROS, what's going on. Actually, I've met more people I didn't know, not running a time over for them, than I ever before. I think it's been quite useful to get some different things positive in the village. I think it can only be a positive thing.
Well, we get lots of dog walkers with sent. We're glad, you know, we all stand back. I go down at least twice a day, sometimes 3 times, but definitely twice. I don't know. At the moment, we've got some kids on the field, you know, after school playing football. Now, I'm not saying, you know, yeah, they're playing football. You know, I know later on we'll get the masses, but between 1 and 3,
My main concern is just more safety. That we need to be very conscious and very aware of the safety of anybody who's volunteering and also of
well, the same as,
because like if we go to what happened on Monday, the crowds were here, how are we going to guarantee if somebody, a gang of kids come up to the pavilion and say, hey, we want to use the toilets or whatever? Because I'm afraid I've dealt with them and met them on Earl's Lane, which is quite a way off, and been intimidated by them.
But it's not just going to be for residents, is it?
No. Well, it's for whoever comes. I will never turn somebody away that's polite. And, but you know, most people are polite.
But I said the point about safety, but you know, since we started as a council, everything we've ever organised at IROS has always been this thing where you can't start the fun day again because we have all these people who don't bother. We can't have, even people say, you can't have party by the lake, please don't want party by the lake. All these people are going to come and also riot and give me. And it's not beyond the realms of possibility. It might happen, but certainly all the kids that were down on Monday, it didn't seem like a team of you. So that's not what they were there for. And also they're not. And I think, you know, you volunteer for a thing, you go into it knowing what you're going to go into. Nobody who's volunteering for this doesn't know what's going on with us. I don't think it's for us to tell adults whether they are at risk or not. That becomes a bit of a nanny.
Well, at least when you do the party by the lake and the fun day and everything, there are quite a few big strong men about.
There may not be.
Actually, you know, kick off or anything like that. I would just hate to think that, you know, somebody's down there, a woman, being put in a very vulnerable position.
And are you just doing tea and cake, or are we moving into like sandwiches and stuff like that?
Just the normal tea and cake. That's why I don't understand about the food preparation. It was never mentioned.
I think I might mention, but you have 3 sandwiches, you don't need spice.
Packed thing.
If you want to make your sandwiches, you don't need to get ice cream, buy them, now you don't, and that's up to the group, but we don't go around telling people warm welcome.
And also,
Or if you're a party by the lake, what you should do.
you would make a decision, wouldn't you? If you see that it's absolutely mad down there, and you're not really sure how it's going, you'd make a decision, maybe not to open, or if it started getting for you, just have to close the door. The other door will stay locked at all times. Or maybe
What about insurance, Lorraine, if you're taking it on to make the lake?
it has to be done. We're always going to have insurance, so.
But who's going to have insurance? Because you said that you'll hand it to the police.
Yeah, well, that's
So you'll be buying your own insurance.
I mean, that, all the things that we need, I will get.
So it's your initiative.
Well, I want it to go to the parish councillor eventually if we can get it up. And if people are showing interest.
So for me, it's
But
like a
it
notice.
doesn't really matter who it is, does
No, it
it?
does. No, of course it matters.
My concern is that we're not putting any controls in for primarily it's from the village.
It's really concern of any people around away. Did you turn them away from them when you were doing the teams?
It was prior, I think, to being clouds, it was a different time. So, I mean, the crowded time was when the teas opened on Sunday and people came down for that. They didn't come to use the lake, they didn't come to barbecues, they didn't come in massive cars from getting the odd cyclists coming down. It was a completely different time. And I think you can't compare the two, to be honest with you, like, because of the way things are. I mean, where I'm coming from is, I think that anything that gets village involvement, and I look back at the teams by the lake, and you remember them as well, they were great.
I'm going to go back this
Yeah, and they were really good, and I think they are a very... They're just nice. I mean, there's no other word for it. They're very nice, and it's a really good idea. However, I have concerns. I've heard all the safety concerns, and there are ways and means. But I think if you're going to, you have to mitigate that by having a risk assessment. And there's a proper risk assessment. My concerns are, first of all, that we have to think about residents. When the IROS has been proposed as a hub or a centre or a place, there have been quite a few residents in the past who complained and said they don't want that happening. So I think we need to, if we were going to, we need to just ask the question possibly, Second thing, I think, is parking. I'm still having an issue with parking. If people are coming down parking, it's great for locals and some of the people who don't come here on a Wednesday and maybe want to go down to the lake. But some of them are going to have to park. So what happens if we haven't got the parking available? I'm just asking. I'm asking these questions. I'm asking. My next thing is the financial side of it, as it stands. Obviously, you're talking about the council paying that, but we don't know what the outlays are going to be yet. So we do need a costing for insurance. Unless we can yeah, council will pay for it, but we need to know.
No, the council won't pay for it.
Aren't.
No.
Well, I thought Lorraine wanted to do that.
No.
Sorry, my mistake. But
So, I would like it to become under the council, and I want to trial it for, like a pilot scheme for.
so where's the insurance coming from?
I'm going to buy it,
You're going to buy it. So,
like I bought it for the fun day that
yeah,
time.
but that's unfair.
I don't mind.
Well, that's up to the.
No, I'm just saying. I think that I'm valid in saying I don't think it's fair with an individual. But that's my point of view.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to say is we then have the issues of gate access, and I mean, I know we're not necessarily opening, but if we decide to, and allow people on the field, so.
The black gate,
But surely we can't open that because we've decided we've voted to keep it closed.
open it to letting people that are coming to the IROS, we've done that all the way
Well,
when the gate's
it's going
going
on
on.
policy mandate.
It was, yeah.
And we've discussed it in this council before, but if people hire it, they hire the whole thing. And I think what's concerning me about this.
That's right. Ewan, what I'm doing is.
Can I just make a point?
Well, if I can finish it, what I'm trying to say here, these are my concerns. As I said, I think the idea is great, but I have these concerns. And I think they are valid and need thinking about carefully.
Okay, but we've discussed in council before what the rules are, people to hire things. So they need a risk assessment, they need insurance, you know, all these things. It's no different for this. Why is he suddenly, you know, been so much scrutiny on? We haven't asked the community to come and show us all their finances. We haven't asked the Royal Welcome to show us all their finances. Suddenly it becomes an issue.
Actually, I remember we did a couple of years ago. We did ask them when we first started as this present council. So we did ask for them, and once we were satisfied, we just allowed it to ride. I think I'm just saying these are my concerns. I'm not saying that we have to go by this, but we need to consider these, you know. And I think if we don't, we're again negligent as a council.
Well, we're not playing.
Well, we'll have to take it different, but these are some concerns I have, and I think I have a right to voice these concerns. And I also have a right to say that I think that having the... No, let me finish, please.
Has anyone told you to stop talking?
No,
Has anyone stopped?
you're interrupting me now. What I was saying, I also have a right to say that I think Lorraine's idea is good, but it needs these concerns addressing. So I've given a balanced idea here. I'm not being negative, I'm just bringing up some concerns to make sure that Lorraine and volunteers are protected.
I do have memory. I do have memory.
But it doesn't matter whether it's men or women on the team, does it? If someone who's aggressive.
Oh, I totally get it.
And I've not brought up that issue at all. My issues were other ones, but
Yeah.
you know that's where I am coming from.
I just
This one.
really, when I came on this council, I came on to try and pull the community together. I come from a village, this is a village, and I'm seeing all the stuff that was flying around, still doing it. And I mean, this letter that you've received, I feel that's an insult to my integrity. It really is. And it's really hurt and annoyed me.
Okay, but can I just point out, you're the council, you make the decision.
We do, I know that.
Obviously,
Just
people are
like
allowed to
that.
have their opinion, but we're not going to base our decision based on one resident's opinion.
I'm slightly confused because she said at the beginning we wouldn't be opening the back gates. Now you're talking
No,
about
I
opening the
did.
back.
I said all along, I would open them to let people, that was always the deal when I first spoke to the lady that's out.
I just said at the beginning of this conversation that it would be
No,
open
I said it
again.
wouldn't be open the gate to the field. There's no field parking. Because in here they were saying, which resident are you going to get to come and let them out when they're locked in?
What's the same with the black gate?
Because you're opening it to let individuals in.
So someone's got to stand on the gate for 2
Well,
hours.
we'll work that out when we have the meeting.
What happens if that particular individual you're letting decides not to go at 3 o'clock?
I don't know. Well, honestly, I don't know. I'm beginning to wonder why I'm doing it anyway.
So Lorraine, can I start? No, is it necessary to implement?
Well, if you get, you've seen the Facebook posts by people on the far end of Pickmere. If they want to come down and want the parking space, and there isn't one, I would be prepared to say, well, what time are you coming? Come in and tell us, we'll open the gates, you can come in, we'll shut it.
Okay, well, I'll make you an offer. If anyone wants to come down from the outside of Pickmere, come and park in, I'll come down. And if they need me to drive them down to the islands. So we have to open the black gate.
Thank you. I just,
I like the idea of using the parish council's assets for the benefit of the village. I think it's good that we use the village hall as much as we possibly can. I think it's a shame that the pavilion sits there being used almost every day of the year. I hear what everyone's saying about risks and problems and concerns. I don't see that we as a council, in allowing someone to use the pavilion, the tea and cake are creating a problem or opening ourselves up to any, liability. We're just letting someone use, just the same as, I don't really want to compare directly with them on Wednesdays, but it's,
meant to be a competition.
but just in the same way that they use the asset without paying, but they are still hiring. They're just hiring with the zero. It's the way I think about it. And we allow that to happen because it's for the benefit of the villagers. I don't really see that this is any different. I do understand where it is different and the issues around the IROS and make a difference. But Lorraine's got a large group of volunteers who are all competent adults, who I'm sure are able to decide, do you know what, there's a big group of drunk people on the field today, let's not open the door.
Is there a few bouncers among them, Lorraine?
No.
Are they old people, the young people, anybody that can manage young people? Asking the question because I'm sorry, I think that, like some of the people that are coming down today are not just like me or you. They're aggressive young men, they're aggressive women. There's more aggressive women actually than there is aggressive men. And actually,
We certainly don't want aggressive.
absolutely not. And my thoughts on that are is this: if it was for residents only, you'd have my vote. If you let one person in that is a resident, that isn't a resident, we are opening a can of worms and facilitating non-residents, which I am completely against.
That's your thinking.
So if I could just finish talking, but I don't see that we need to nanny people who are asking to hire our assets. We set the rules of you must provide this. That covers our liability. I think if someone wants to do something in the benefit of the people who pay, then I'm all for doing it. I actually think that if someone was to do this and try and say, oh no, you can't come in and lock the villager, that's actually more likely to generate a problem than actually dealing with the people who come. If people turn up and, you know, are aggressive or whatever, then if you can't get them to leave, then you ring 999. If it was really that bad. But I just think it's not for us to decide
Why
the
isn't it?
people who hire them.
Why isn't it?
So the border
You tell me
proposal,
why isn't it? Why isn't it our decision?
Well, it's our decision whether or not we want to allow someone to use one of Parish Council's assets to,
This is a safer place to use them. This is a safer place to use.
so do we say no to any winching people then?
No, I don't think that you can
You can't,
either say no, and I don't think we should be saying no.
No.
I mean, okay, I said that they're different, but we did allow people down to the ones on Sunday. And I think if someone turns up and said, can I have a cup of tea? Then I don't see that as a problem. My problem, as I said, was not about who's coming, it's about some of the concerns I've got about the finance side of it, the running side of it, some of the issues. My other real concern is that we do have a situation with a lot of crowds at the IROS. Is opening up a facility which offers tea, cakes and toilets, just exacerbating that situation. Which I'm asking the question. I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but I think that's a concern and a question we need to address as well. And I agree with Nick. It's a facility that isn't getting used enough, and it's there for the residents. So that's why I'm sort of I see this balance of, yeah, there's this really good idea, and I remember what it was like, and I can see the potential of it. But I also see the concerns that, I mean, in the middle, there's realistically, yeah.
I totally get it, Sandy, but surely in life, can you always try something?
Yeah.
You know, don't you,
I haven't said,
why, I'm not saying that personally, I'm saying as a general. If you get an opportunity, shouldn't you try it? Always, we're getting people saying you can't. But why?
I'm not,
Why are we not?
personally, I'm not saying you can't.
I know, no, I meant that as a
What
general.
I'm saying is the potential is there. We need to weigh that up with the risk and the concerns that they make sure that they're balanced and make sure that we're aware of them so that they can be mitigated prior to that if we're going to open up and do what you want.
I mean, we haven't decided yet on
Established,
the
yeah.
date to go forward, but because I wanted to get everybody together once we know one way or another where this is going. I just find it hard that we try to do something for the village. Hard.
I think as a council, we've got to protect residents in whatever way, shape or form. And that includes looking after people who are trying to do a good job.
I just say, as I've said before, if someone tells me it's an animal, they're going to protect me doing something that I want to do. I just think it's wrong.
So when
What
we,
gives us the right to sit in this group and say to people, you can't volunteer for this because we think you are incompetent and you can't look after your own safety. I'm quite happy to look after myself. I'm not happy to look after people. I'm only 60 seconds away from the IROS. If someone went away and phoned me and said, we've got a problem, I'll be there. I'll bring my team with me.
unless you're in China.
I'll send my son.
But the point, you say that, Ewan, but haven't we asked for Party by the Lake to have a risk assessment to make sure that those things are mitigated for?
Yes.
And we also asked for them to be insured. So that is about the council protecting the residents and making sure that things are in place. Also, haven't we asked that volunteers sign a waiver form? Isn't that about the council asking
No,
the
I don't know if the.
protecting, well, for any volunteers, we've said
But
that they need.
this is not.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we are as a council protecting those residents by making sure certain things are in place.
The things that are legally required.
Yeah, so that's what I've said.
You say to, we're not saying to this group, you can do it without having a specific group to do it. Yeah. Well, they've got to do the same, they've got to have insurance, they've got to do it.
I haven't said that we're going to be there with a bodyguard. I've said that's what we need to make sure is in place. So I'm not saying anything else, and that's protecting the residents who are going to be involved in this. So I don't see where you're saying that this isn't your nanny state. This is me saying we need to make sure that the same protections that the council asked for are in place for those people doing as for the other events.
It is, I don't see how, I mean, and even I think, yeah, somebody in the forum said this, over there, I believe they may well be involved, and they're the person that does the successful.
Yeah, and that's great. So we've got that.
And I've been very critical of them.
Yeah,
And they've been competent.
but I'm saying we need to make sure we've got these as the other concerns are.
With respect, we're going around in circles. Can we vote, please? Tell the board.
It's anyone else, I think they'd like to.
Yes. How long are you expecting to do them for? Considering that when we get to the winter period, the water is normally turned up and going down.
Well, it wasn't an issue. I think we'll take things as it comes to it and see how it goes, but I mean, it's all up to you guys.
I mean, it may well, as the weather changes and people are maybe not so keen to have tea and cake.
No, it's just that the application for this is till
End of March.
end of March. So,
I mean, we are.
without you saying it's every week until the end of March. Is that what you're asking for? Or
Sunday TC, you're finished in September.
yeah,
It's just an example.
And just get out of the cold.
It's no heating in there.
Pardon?
There's no heating in it.
No.
Right, so I
Can
think,
we have a trial 6 weeks? Can I have a trial 6 weeks?
well, in my mind, it was always trial and people.
Well, can we from,
Unviable.
and we'll work it out when we have a meeting. Can we have a trial 6 weeks? It might not be week after week after week. There'll be something on Facebook and on the.
I think you started at the wrong time, if you're going to start, you wouldn't start in August, which is the busiest.
Well, I said when we started.
from now, isn't it? Or,
Okay, well, I think we should just vote whether we're doing it or not.
but I don't see a problem with the parking anyway, because Tuesday or Thursday, there are no parking restrictions. So
All right, so I think,
if the parking spaces are full, there's on street parking, just as the residents do park on street. That can be effect.
I thought it was a 1 to 3 years.
Yeah. Well, so there isn't a parking problem.
shall I formulate a proposal?
Yes.
The proposal that we give permission for this group to do their activity up to weekly for a period of 6 weeks. See how that goes on the standard proviso that we need to have insurance, we need to have risk assessment, and all the documents that we decide as a council need to be in place. And I think what I can add to it is that I will, of course, please ask them to come down when it's on. I don't think we'll need them, but there we are. And I will be available, so I'll let you know if I'm trying to. I'll make sure there's someone available.
So your 6 weeks is starting from.
Whenever we do it, we haven't had a meeting.
If you do it 6 weeks, it's 6 weeks from now.
No, it doesn't
You need
have
to be more specific.
Okay, 6 weeks from the start.
from the start.
From when they start.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because otherwise,
No,
you know what I mean? it's never going to happen next week, is it?
No,
You're not ready to go.
no,
And
no,
so,
we're not.
so we need to be specific. It's 6 weeks from when you're ready to go.
That gives you the leeway.
Yeah.
If you've not got it together,
That's
6
fine.
weeks time.
No,
You'll end
no,
up with
that,
3 weeks, won't you?
yeah, no, that's correct. Once, you know, it will go up on the social.
So could I, sorry, could I just slight amendment to that? Because depending on when you start, 6 weeks might be a bit funny in that what would be good is if you could come back and give us a report at the October meeting. If the 6 weeks takes you to halfway through September and then you have to stop because you haven't got permission to carry on, that seems a bit odd. So I wonder whether rather than 6 weeks, we should say,
To the end of October. To the start of October.
Viewed in September.
Okay, to the start of October. So, trial period, which starts when you're ready, ends in October, when you come and fill back. We look at the police reports as to, I mean, it's,
So you want it to end at the end of October?
Begin. So beginning, so review it out.
Not that you said at the end of October.
no,
Well,
I intended to say to October.
To October.
So we're going to discuss it at the October meeting.
Right.
Yep, so, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the proposal. Everyone happy with that? No one that's written the memo? So those are happy with the proposal that we give it a go, subject to the requirements, and we get a report at the meeting of October. So those four. Those against? Yeah.
Brilliant.
So, yes, the chairman cast a vote. That's my vote, with proposing to do it. Thank you. I had to cast a vote. Anyway, thanks very much. Okay, can we move on to the, that took a lot longer than I ever, the fire safety report, that is you, Alf.
things.
Have we all read all that blurb I've produced? If we just go straight into the main report then, as I started going through the report, I thought it would be a good idea to take the items out and create a spreadsheet so that it would be easier to read, because the report jumped about from one category to another. So hence that's why I did the spreadsheets. Then I started going through them and realising that there is a lot in that report that really bears no relevance at all to our village hall and what we are using it for. And then on the other side, there was also the costs. I started off with looking at the curtains first of all, and fireproofing the curtains. And the cost of that would be over £1,000. Then they talked about the fire doors and what we needed for the fire doors. Well, he's claiming, or whoever it was claiming that these internal doors here were fire doors. They're not fire doors. You can't fit these intubescent strips to these doors. It would necessitate having new doors for the kitchen, the entrance door there, the 2 toilet doors. And because the wood, the frames are softwood, it would then necessitate new frames as well. And I thought this is just going way, way, way beyond what the hall actually needs or requires as the fire risk assessment.
Okay.
That was then when I contacted Ian Kersey, who offered his help and advice. Because when we first started discussing it, I think I said that Kate and I had put together a risk assessment that would suffice for what we needed. That also is on the spreadsheets. Then going through what Ian has said as well, it made it clear that really we are going over the top with the one that we commissioned. There is no need for us to be looking at all this sort of thing, especially when you started the report saying the fire risk rating is low with slight harm, where it is unlikely to result in death or serious injury. So overall, I then thought, well, the two options would be, if we stay with the FRA limited report and work through all the actions, we would be talking a ballpark figure of up to £3,000. Then if we created our own risk assessment from the information from Ian and the one that he has got, created our own and went through it, it would reduce the requirements considerably, because some of the things that we do actually do is we have had the electrics tested. Peter has done a short version of the emergency lighting, but I understand it has to be for 3 hours, and we weren't sitting here for 3 hours. So,
So can I just interject, because we're a bit short time, but so back in April, we discussed risk assessment versus professional.
Yep.
As a council, we decided that we were going to go down the professional route. Right. And my understanding of the last meeting was we were going to take the report from the professional and we were going to look at what he was suggesting and we were going to prioritise the things that we thought were the most important. So we've already discussed these option 1 and option 2 in the previous meeting, and we decided we were going with option 1. Right. So now we've got option 1, and bearing in mind if we had to go into court and something happened, and the prosecuting barrister went, "So you had the report and you ignored it," from a qualified professional, I don't think we would look very good.
I'm not saying that we ignore it, I'm saying that we create one of our own, because some of these items are completely unnecessary.
But that's the point, is that we've got this report, we now need to prioritise what is going on there. I mean, I think things like, curtains that could combust, that to me is really, really important.
Well, they can be FR'd. I could send them away to be FR'd quite cheaply, as they are.
They won't do them if they're not clean.
This company will do it, I've just done a lot of work done by them.
But if they're not clean, it doesn't work, because it doesn't adhere to it, because there's mildew on them.
Well, we can wash them ourselves. It'd be cheaper for me to just remake them.
Probably would.
I mean, I think these are things that we need to be looking at the report, prioritising, because the big risk.
They were FR codes, they don't.
But there's no proof that is.
Well, there will be from years and years ago, but we probably did them 20 years ago.
So, but in business, I've known. I think one of the things with a professional firm, I suppose, it's like having the different levels of survey on the house. That person is going to come in and they're going to pick out and point out everything because that's their job and that's what they're being paid for. You then have to weigh it, balance out what actually is necessary out of it and what we have in place already and what is not necessarily relevant with doors flaps. So I think we just need to go through that and, like I say, decide what's important.
I mean, is that something that maybe we have to take on us? Is that what we need?
I won't be doing it for the next meeting. Just put it away.
Yes,
Okay. Well, maybe there are other people that.
Unless anybody else wants to do it.
well, isn't that the asset?
We don't have that.
No, that's, I think we've done it. Really.
It's wrong.
Where's the one?
I will go away then and go through those and say what I feel is necessary.
So I think I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying.
I just thought this is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I thought if we start going down that route, we'll end up with saying, well, actually, we better dispose of it because we can't hold it.
I think I'm actually in the last meeting to someone else, but I once bought a listed building, and when I saw the report, I thought never ever I would buy that building. But it stood for 400 years, and when I saw it, it was still standing.
But how does that fit with what you said at the beginning about if we were taken to court, you've had a professional
Because
as a body, and then we did picking and choosing which bits were.
no, I don't get too excited and agree with Simon, but Simon's absolutely right that in any report that that we get at work, we do studies on people, there'll be 5 top things that are big risks. We can't mitigate against every risk, it's impossible. So that's what we're doing here. He's going to write everything down. That's his job. Our job as a council is to decide what we can afford and what's important.
My sister's roof had one loose tile. The surveyor said danger of death on his survey. That's so they're covering their own backs because that's their job. If they don't do that, then they've not done their job properly. And if you turn around and say, "Hang on, you did mention fire resistant curtains," then they're open to whatever you want to do. So we just have to think sensibly and logically about our facility and what it needs and what really is relevant there and what we can have already had in place. I mean, we're having things packed and tested on, so
Yeah.
that's one thing.
Just perhaps test the fire safety equipment test.
The electrical.
And that could be a process. We could say, everybody on the council, pick the top 5, send them to Alison, and then we'll know what we collectively think of the top 5. What we can't do is not do anything. But I think if we have a process that we demonstrate we try to identify the biggest risks and what we can afford. We can't afford everything.
We then go down the route as well of training and all these zones and everything. So if everybody agrees with that, if you would all let me have your top 5 from the spreadsheet there, typed in there.
Or on the report.
Or from the report, so we have.
Read the entire report.
If you want to read the entire report, it's painful.
Which is I can't remember. Have we got a meeting point to Paris?
No, we haven't.
Well, it hopefully should be out here, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one thing we could do very quickly. Just get a put sign notice and make
Signage is worse than we
Signage is
have
one of the
done.
worst things.
And
Yeah.
smoke detectors.
because I think if we have got a fire exit and we do need a rallying point to make it.
So we replaced one line, so anyway, from the electrical survey.
Yeah.
One emergency escape light.
Yeah, but
We need more signage on the door, that door is fire escape door, that door's fire escape door. We don't want people running to the toilets thinking they can get out because they can't.
Yeah.
So we need signs on those doors and the sign on the outside door as well, as the kitchen. Because in the report, one of the prime spots for a fire to start is a kitchen. And we put the kitchen, or the kitchen has been put in the escape room. And then outside, the disability, well, it's not disabilities, the ramps have been put round the building, which is, to anybody doing a risk assessment, you wouldn't run out of that door and then have to run along the side of a burning building, would you? In the real world, you wouldn't do it. It would just go straight away from it. And the same out of the front door, straight away. Whereas out that front door, turn right, turn left before you can get out. And it's
so do we need to get a grinder?
Yes.
No,
So
you can rest like just not very much.
safety.
it's poor design of the ramp system that, I mean, we understand why you've got to do it because it saves parking spaces, doesn't it?
The thing
Might not been done.
I can see that, but it doesn't go all the way to the kitchen. It goes down half and then you're outside there.
And exit through that door. We've got 2 emergency exits, hence the light.
That's what you're talking about.
But just as a matter of interest, I've been going to a church a couple of times a week, and it's a spiritual church, so there's not lots of people in there, but they do a head count at the beginning, so whoever's counts everybody, has a fire warden and tells us where to, and nobody has to go home because they want the head count. I mean,
Well, that's the sort of thing that we would then end up having. But we'd have to train everybody who hires.
I know I've thought about that.
It must be on the form that
Yeah,
no.
each hire it, yes,
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
But that can be emailed out as PDF, can't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's not,
Then we have to organise training for our employees.
Difficult thing, isn't it? So it's like with like.
Because this report assumes the employee works here.
So when you hire like a hall for a birthday party or something, you know, you don't have to come in to have like a fire
Training.
first, no, but it'll probably be in,
Ring the bells.
probably be in the documentation that you
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah.
The kind of instructions on what to do.
And then the correct signage in here, so that people know, so that outside you have a sign that says muster point, and you have a diagram in here. One of the things that we thought of as we were talking about it was having a notice board in the entrance hall there with the fire safety certificate, the electrical safety certificate. There's big, wrong to say zones, but where the areas are and your route out.
Well, maybe that's something I should do at the beginning of every meeting.
I think it's quite good really, isn't it, to count heads. All right, we can see how many are here, but if you have quite a few people in a room, like warm welcome, I mean, you know.
Oh, but sorry.
well, so, I mean, clearly in the top 5 things that need done, that policy around the training and all that's going to be in there. I know we've talked about this before, but we're about to hit the summer and about to have 2 months with no meeting. Is it a possibility that from the clerk's discretionary funding, we buy 3-5 exit signs and stick on yours? Do you know what I mean? Because we haven't got the, and sorry, and that was the other thing I was going to say, 2 smoke detectors for the roof, for the ceiling, sorry, because
Well, we need one in there by the kitchen, don't we, where they,
You can also get proper signs where you just, where you indicate rally points in case of the drivers rally, then you can put just right on it in
So,
we don't have costs and things and principles to vote on.
No.
But is that not something that actually we could just get the clerk to buy in there?
I mean, A, we have a proviso for a safety issue. This is a safety issue. And B, fire exit signs would be £1.67 plus VAT.
Well, if I go through again, and if you, let's have the top 5, and I go through and make a list of the signs and the things that are majorly important, we should get within the next few weeks by these smoke detectors and signs. Can I send that to Lucy?
I might have some fire exit.
So,
I'm just looking.
like, we did, on that, smoke detector would be how much?
about 30 quid.
Yes.
I have no idea.
So if we give the clerk a budget of £200 for signs and smoke detectors,
But I suggest outside the kitchen it's a heat detector, not a smoke detector, and let's look at it.
I'm smoke constant.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I'm just looking, I've just pulled up the first website and I'm saying between sort of £1.75 and £4 and 1 pence for a sign. So, yeah.
okay. Because we've got time,
I'll do that.
Thanks.
so please can everyone send their top 5? Yeah, that's a bit of a So right, neighbourhood plan information,
Yeah.
also again.
Yeah. Have you read this? I'm afraid, unfortunately, we're no longer going to be given grants or allowed to apply for grant. There is no money. There is no funding. I managed to get a meeting of us all together, the team, and we discussed what we should do. We don't know whether this is going to change. Certainly it's going to stand for the next 12 months. We don't know what's going to happen as regards to the national planning programme that's going to be rewritten. I spoke to my contact at Macclesfield, Tom, and Tom said they haven't even heard either when they got to start doing their local plan. He said, we will. So he said, I wouldn't continue with your policies so far because we don't know what's going to come out in the local plan. So we all met together and we agreed that we would continue forming the plan that we have got and the work that we have done, accumulating all that, gathering it together and producing a paper version of our plan. Tom then said as well that he would offer his
help and advice. So if that's okay with the council, if you agree that, if you say, no, there's no point, let's stop, then fine. But we are prepared to continue and try and sort of ride it out, see what can be done.
I think from my perspective, it's delegated. If you guys believe there's, it's something to be achieved for going forward, then if you get back to us and there's nothing to be achieved, then
I think it's worth progressing until we find out.
Yeah,
I mean, the rules are going to be changing anyway, aren't they?
They are,
With all the green belt building and stuff. So, you know, it's a sliding guidelines as we speak. So it's worth continuing because there is a value to it. But when that value no longer exists, I think then that's the time.
yeah. Because Tom actually said as well that Cheshire East would help as well with funding when it comes to referendum, and you can do it all digitally. And he's there to offer us help with that. So if that's all right for.
How's the website going? Do we know?
Sorry, the report was last month on the website. Yes, we had quite a lot of people accessing it, and I haven't got the copy with me now.
I can run through it for you. So, site visits in April were up 44, 80% visits from new visitors, 40% came from Facebook, 36% came from Google, 23 were direct, and just typing in Pickmere Neighbourhood Plan. The other thing I'd say about this report is it's hard for me to judge because I don't know how many people this is. Percentages of
Right.
whole one good, maybe it's 3 people. So then probably when we get another report, it'd be good to know how many people it was.
It has been looked at because somebody who's buying a house had seen it. They contacted me.
I looked at it. Does that sound like the Cheshire Wildlife Trust report? No. So.
All right,
Okay, thank you.
moving on. Good meeting. Okay, so this agenda item is a tour de force. It basically came from a suggestion from Simon that we have a open and frank discussion about issues around visitors. Because it's running out of time and because it is quite long, what I suggested that we take each item one at a time. And if we need to vote on those items, then let's vote on that item. So I forwarded, to part of my discussion, Cheshire Constabulary, it came to light that there was a report that they did into how they thought that crime could be reduced at Pickmere Lake. So obviously we have a suggestion which I've sent around, which was done in June 2024, interestingly. Also, obviously we've discussed at length the requirements of the S106 agreement and covenants on the land, which are, and the fact that we have a public footpath through. What is good in the report, and does back up what they've been telling us, but the first time I see it written down, is that the police are very keen to obtain a public space protection order on the land, and very keen to generate the data. I think, or I know what it is, whether it's fatigue, whether it's hard, but on the big sunny day where we had the rural police down on towing, there were 3 reports made of one. I know one was Jane, I know one was me, and it was somebody else. And why it doesn't matter this is me and Jane all the time. We really do need people, because I don't see all the cars, I don't see all the
My concern was though that on Monday, I actually ran 3 times. I did 2 101 and I did a 999. One of my neighbours did a 999. 2 others in the village I knew did 101. 2 more on our estate did 101. And we definitely had the sets. 2 of us definitely had the third call that I made, instead of them set forward in something which normally just comes as a message or an email, they actually give it to me verbally, and somebody else sent me exactly the same number. And I'm very concerned that they're actually putting numbers in together, so it just goes down with one incident, and then that's one incident, and okay, we've had 6 in the morning that have all been gone, but then these last 6 in the afternoon have all been put down as one number, and I think we need to make that very clear that are they just categorising them together, and that is putting it down as one.
In the past, what we were told is when you ring up, they do get categorised together. I mean, I don't know whether this has changed in the last 5 years, but basically what they do is they, if they get one, then it's sort of bottom of the pile, but as they start to count up and they get categorised together, it starts to raise itself in terms of then recognising that there's more than one person reporting incidents. So there was the thing which we put out years ago, about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I can't remember, where we said basically as many people as possible to phone into contact on the same incidents, because the more people who comment, the more recognition it will get by not necessarily the police, the people who are passing it on to the police, what it is, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, I think they do categorise it.
Well, we haven't raised this one before, but I think what you're mentioning is that if you have one incident and lots of people report it, then it does go up high.
Yeah.
I think what Jane's mentioning here is that, and I had this when I phoned down, they said, oh yeah, we've already got a report.
No, I think what they do is they combine them together because they think they're all the same report.
Yeah, I know,
yeah.
but as they a lady on the phone, Jane's going to be from Jacob's Way, my reports from Clerk,
Yeah.
they are not the same thing.
But I think I'm not sure, but I think they categorise it as an area rather than Blood Drive, Orchards, Jacob's Way. I think they just say it is a Pickmere report.
Well, it generally has,
I mean, I'm not saying
That's the postcode.
correct, but that's what I feel it is.
but it's, for me, it was worrying that they are putting them down as the same number, because I personally would like to put numbers on every single one of them. Because, and then you know for definite that it's being counted as another incident.
Because it's interesting, because the police are saying they support public space protection order. Cheshire is saying, well, come on, show us the data. And yet when we all phone up, we get a different number, even though the incidents can't be the same.
Right.
So I think it's a valid point. And I'll raise it again. I know they like my Monday morning chats. So just going through the report, the next item is, one of the things they raised is the CCTV at the Pavilion. So their concern is that there would be liability to Pickmere Parish Council because you can shake your head, Peter, but
Why did they sell dummy cameras?
so this is the crime prevention person of the police.
Cut them
This is what he
down.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's saying,
Well, they're not the parish councils, are they?
No, they're not.
No.
but,
Cut them down. Yeah.
well, there is
That's
that.
the dummy one.
That would be better than having them, is what the police are saying.
But there was
It says there that people feel safe because there are CCTV cameras. I feel most unsafe thinking I'm in an area I shouldn't be in if it needs this many CCTV cameras.
So nobody comes around to my house.
There you go then.
That's not the same area. But I think, we need to make a decision. We either take them out, we make them work again. Well, I think probably, as I suggested in my report, maybe the first thing is to get quotes to find out how much it would cost to not take them out, because data is important. And we do have it. That is, I'm sure we won't, the coffee and cake, we would have video evidence.
They were affected when the news. Remember those two lads caught vandalising?
Yes, the moment. Yes.
They did community service on the Sunday teas. Yeah, they work there for a couple of Sundays. So they are affected. They do catch people, but it's again, I suppose it's cost over.
Yeah.
And also, sorry, there's the cost of them, the cost of maintaining them. Where does the data go? How long do you keep hold of the data for?
Who sees the data?
Look at the data. Yeah, so all of that. So
I noticed in one of the emails Lucy sent out that that fund for digital connectiveness is up and running again.
Yeah.
So do you remember last year we talked about it and the idea of internet at the Pavilion? So you could actually then have, if they would fund that, I don't know whether these could be included in that fund. But you could then actually have, so similar to the Ring one, you could have, it then all goes to the cloud, doesn't it? And then can be accessed. Yeah. So it goes to the cloud, it's kept for 30 days. It can be accessed then by whoever's got the council login to the cloud. And if the cameras with Ring, I think if the cameras are stolen, they replace them or something. Do you know what I mean? So and you've got the data of them stealing them because it goes straight to the cloud. So that might be worth looking into as an option. Yeah, particularly if we can get it funded as an initiative.
There is another option, isn't there, where I'm sure, but basically what it does is it records the data and it holds the information for a set amount of time, and then it basically records over, I think it's sort of a month, and then it then basically begins recording over the original ones, but unless you're actually physically like that. Yeah, it's basically, I can't remember, it's about a month, and so it'll run, when it gets full, it just goes back to the beginning and starts recording over the original stuff again. Or replacing it on the cloud, sorry.
Yes, so with those you've generally then got to go in and actually look at it, whereas
if there's been an incident, if there's not been, you don't need to.
But if there's problems down at the lake on a Friday night, whoever's got council login could literally go on there, take still photos and send them to the police. You know what I mean? There are those sort of options with when it's an online one.
Well, that's an upgrade, isn't it? Then you keep talking about what is there.
But I think yes, but if
what is there is quite old.
You say I'm joking.
and not working, but
If I check the sockets and then there's
No
no
electricity.
No. I mean, they are connected, because there's a case I was reading about in Derby where they actually arrested someone who walked down straight towards where the camera was. They could see the camera shaking, and the camera was taken away and stolen, and they found it trashed, but the actual data had gone straight onto the cloud, so they caught them through that.
Yeah. But I think if there's funding available for a digital initiative and we can cover it, then why would you not, really, if we can get it funded? But I don't want to happy with that as a proposal.
If we get it.
Is it funding? What's match funding?
No, it's funding.
It's funding, actually.
It is, because yes, they'd closed it by the time. So,
Is that something you can take on, relating to your
if you want.
halfway there?
Oh, I don't know.
That's agreed then.
It's agreed that we're finding prices.
Yes.
Yeah, if we get funding, but I think it would be useful if we had.
I'm going to try and get
So
digital.
what are we going to do with existing?
I think existing is beyond hope.
So should we in the meantime be taking that down?
I think so.
And does it mean that we need, does it mean that we need, internet?
It covers the digital funding.
Or could we leave the broken ones there as dummies?
But then
Well, that's what we're saying we can't do.
Well, they're doing this now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't do
What the report said.
Sorry,
That's not.
but they do look wrecked, though they don't work. I'm just thinking, if you tick all them up to make them look, that as well.
I mean, let's just get costing for what we can, getting new stuff, get it funded. I mean, we've been there so long, I believe. Don't think it'll use the word now.
I don't think there's any point spending any money or doing anything like that to take it down until we know what we're going to replace them with, because it could be going on.
I sort of skipped over probably the first thing we get to talk about is we did start discussions here about the removing of the footpath, which is a poor indication. There was some talk that Cheshire West had moved the footpath, but into council told me that's not true. But we should certainly maybe talk to Cheshire East about whether they would pay to do it.
Worth talking to the footpaths officer. If you.
I've got his number, so looking
Oh,
at
the footpath has been moved in the past.
It was moved.
it once, yeah.
Yeah, because it was further up Main Lane, wasn't it, towards the jump? Well,
So why has it changed where it is then?
No,
when they built
no,
the houses.
no,
where the
it was,
footpath
it was only.
When Jacob's Way was built.
It was opposite number 4, exactly number
When-
4,
Goes to
maybe.
the outside, yeah.
But still not, one's probably only moved
Oh,
Chris,
20 yards
It's
in
opposite
there.
number 4, Main Lane, the footpath.
We did pay for the one to be moved up at, near Bubbs Road. I think I've got the, Cheshire East, they paid for that.
I'm sure it's sort of £500 to move the footpath and to get all this process going, but it's also long drawn out because you've got to publicise it. There is.
I looked at it about 6 months ago and reported to council, it was over £4,000 to even start the process.
I thought the initial process to get the survey was about 500 if you wanted a temporary one, and then it's the full one is quite expensive.
Not the information they had on their
No, that's
website,
fine.
it was over 4,000 to start the process, so
Surely we just put it forward that the issues that we're having here,
after we should investigate that, yes.
if this footpath was moved,
Yeah.
then surely people like the Police and Crime Commission and Cheshire East would perhaps say, well, yeah, they're telling us to do something.
Yeah.
So if we say, well, you help us do something,
Where would we move it?
Why? Where?
well, the one idea that had been talked about before was moving it to the other side of the IROS.
Alright. Down the back.
Yeah.
So that would be opposite Castle.
Is that something that you could take on?
It's something I can do,
If you-
because I already been put in contact with Peter from Public Right of Way,
Would, the next look to the cost,
and so have I.
so, or could you work together?
See if we can get somebody.
What was the 18?
That'd be wonderful, wouldn't it?
It would, if you would say, yeah, this will help your problem. You might not be calling the police and fire brigade out as much.
They want it to.
So, if Nick and Jane can pull their combined knowledge and see if we can get that kicked off. So the next question was around signage. So originally when we started a few years ago, we had a budget for signage, which obviously was in that year's budget, but that didn't get put into this year's budget. But we do have funds that we have available, which are allocated. So what I would propose is that we get a budget of say £500 from the reserves and earmark that for getting signs. Then if we need to get signs of £1.67 each, then we could do that. The ones I got recently were very cheap ways to do. The biggest problem I had was where to put them. So there were these boards on poles. So I think that's the cost. It's not like the sign. It's the cost of getting those put in. But you can get cement from B&Q where you dig a hole, you put the post in, you fill it up with this cement.
That's pretty basic.
Done.
Yeah.
So I think we could have a little team there. And then all these people that double park their cars to knock them over. Possibly then. We could send them a bill for the repair. But I digress.
One point that the officer made in the report, which I thought was very interesting. I don't know if anyone's ever driven anywhere around near Manchester Airport and also near Riven Shore. There are some slightly funny signs suggesting, don't be a tosser of rubbish and things like that. What the officer suggested here was actually pictures drawn by the local school children of please keep our park tidy, or please take your rubbish home. I think they are more effective with some people.
Both are.
Yeah, there's always going to be.
There were some down at the lake, that's also one. Because it's an Australian one, isn't it?
But it's wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So the sign was there,
Yeah.
but it's gone now.
But I think the local children's things, you know, so, some people will ignore anything because, but I think that's a little bit more of something.
School's almost out, isn't it? So, but,
Well, it is, but there are plenty of the local children. It doesn't have to necessarily be done through the school. We could ask local residents who've got school children, you know, oh, the school holidays are coming up, they're gonna need to fill some time.
Yeah.
They hold a competition, it's also newsworthy as well.
Yeah.
Prize
It's
for.
a busy, Pickmere Press is going out this week.
I meant more, it's
Yeah.
for the actual national leadership.
But it's probably not big really for kids. Maybe their parents will force them to. But I hope we put something on and do that. But I think, I mean, what was interesting, yeah, when I was down the lane with Jane, that we don't have these signs saying take it home anymore. We did have. But Jane spoke to a lady coming back who was just about to dump rubbish and asked her if she'd take it home. And that one actually was very pleasant and said, yeah, that's fine, I'll take it back. And I guess the board and Jane thought she'd take the same approach for the next one, who took a completely different approach.
Yeah.
Was completely abusive. So I think, again, some people it will resonate and they'll go home, take it home, and other people it's just like, we stuck in it here, we don't care. We should be grateful they didn't leave it in the lake about it.
To be honest with you, those people who are going to take it home will take it home, and those people who are not going to.
Yeah, I think.
That sign isn't going to make a huge difference.
It's a little bit.
I actually wondered whether we should take the bin out altogether and just have a sign and say, please don't dump your rubbish, please take it home.
You just go
Put it in there, absolutely encouraging.
Yeah. You know, that's my
Oh,
thought.
the bin's full, like, fill up round it.
Yeah, that's what
Absolutely
I'm saying.
helpful.
So that's why I thought you take the bin away altogether, will they just keep on throwing it there if there's no bin and just a sign saying, please take your litter home?
They might just throw it anyway.
But they might not.
You just get pile rubbish.
Yeah. Or you might even get it, because I think people,
Well, it's not, the bin's not that big anyway, Simon, is it? You know, so-
No, but you know, to me, it's,
if you look at studies that councils have done, people will take rubbish to a bin, especially the next one, the broken window theory, I didn't know that's what it's called. But then it only takes one person when it's full for them to put it one bottle down, and everyone that's.
Well, there's rubbish everywhere at the bottom at the moment, so I wouldn't say that everybody's taking rubbish. I actually saw 3 dirty nappies this morning, and by the bin, all round the bins. It was utter disgraceful.
What did we decide about the big red bin? We're not using.
Well, we pay for how much we use it.
That's what I thought.
No, we discussed last time that it costing us £1,500 and that Cheshire East were taking it away, so we wouldn't use it.
Mm. But we're still paying it though, aren't we?
Well, we're not paying the, we might be paying the like £5 or whatever it is a week, but we're not actually paying to actually, it cost us £1,500 last year to remove it.
Council.
What?
So decision of council.
No, but we discussed it last month.
But we didn't have to decision.
No, but we did, it's never been put out. This year, we've not put it out. We've not needed to.
But that wasn't a decision of council either. Used to sit where it used to sit.
No, but it gets put away at winter and it's never been pulled back out.
But I would say why? Because
Because the Cheshire East are taking it away and because when Lucy told us that it cost £1,500 last year out of residents' precept, we didn't think it was a good use of residents'
we didn't make
precept.
that decision.
No, you might not have, but nobody's pulled it out.
But the council didn't make a decision.
Well, and also we can't get into anywhere the kids. I tried to pull it out weeks ago. I did in fact with that good. No,
but they will have a master key, won't
We could ask for a key from Ash.
I have.
So, you know, we're going to
I suppose
continue
they
with
get
it.
it repaired. Yeah. And so actually, I think he said they replaced the whole thing, didn't they, with a new one? With the
It's a
proper.
new bin, isn't it?
They gave us a new bed that's locked, and they didn't give us a key.
Every time you empty it,
Yeah.
you lock it.
We do.
And it's not a key, it's not one of those keys you can buy.
Triangle.
There's triangle one.
No.
It's a triangle one, it's just a long
That's
shadow.
right, yeah, I bought 2 of those, and they both work. It was just a cobble together lock, literally.
But if that's what we need, that's we can get. But, okay,
Do you want me to contact them?
So are we voting on it, that we're going to continue using it?
Well, I think it should do, if it's going to cost £1,500.
I don't think we need to vote that we're not going to use it. We should be using it.
Yeah.
Surely that's logic.
So that's against that.
We should be using it because we've got it and we're paying for it. So really, the vote should be, are we not going to use it? So it should be, because if it's there, it should be out and we should get it fixed.
So we're not using it.
But we need to get it sorted, don't we?
So we'll get it out.
That's clear.
Okay.
Maybe sort that out when we set the budget in next year
Yeah,
as to whether we continue with a bid
yeah,
or not.
yeah.
Because
I just thought it was a lot of money. You know,
Yeah,
like
this,
when it
this
actually
year's
gets taken out.
budget says we're going to bid.
It's-
Didn't you say it's a waste of money because we've hidden the bin?
No, it was a
Yeah.
waste before, when we had the bin there, and all that happened was, we then have to, my understanding was, we'd have to call them to get them to
No,
come.
they come every month.
Hmm?
They come every month.
They come on a regular basis unless we need it emptying, then we call them.
Yes,
That's all.
so allied to that, and Ray and I certainly spent some time down there, regardless of when that red bin gets filled, the rubbish, the rest of the rubbish is still there. There might just be a bit less.
And Cheshire's come and take it 2 or 3 times a week.
So it was a waste of money.
I agree.
But it's in this year's budget.
Yes, because it just carried
But
on.
can't we just send it back?
We need to sort it out when we set the budget. November, December. And if we decide then that we don't need a bin, we can end the contract.
Yeah, I'll go with
Because we
that.
have a contract.
I'll go with that. Did you say you were going to investigate getting jokes?
Yeah.
Having a key.
So we should,
Should we not vote on that?
no, because we've got.
No, we voted it.
Yeah, we can't use it, so we do need to get a key to be able to use it. Otherwise, it's just money for
We're under contract to use it.
But this is an issue that people are making ad hoc decisions against the decisions of council. It can't be done. That's wrong.
In what way? How do you?
Yeah, I'd like to know in what way.
We agreed for a bin, we paid for a bin,
Yes.
and we hid the bin.
Yes,
The
but
council didn't say hide the bin.
We discussed that we were moving it last year, at winter, in winter.
In winter.
It's always been.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does get collected in winter. We only pay for it in the summer when people go down.
Okay, so nobody's pulled it back out,
no,
that's
well,
all.
what we'll do, we've got a way around this, haven't we? So we'll get it so it can be opened. We'll between this, we'll take it back and forth whenever
Yeah.
it's needed, busy weekends. And then when it comes to the end of the year, we can take a proper vote on it.
Okay. All right.
Who's been interrupted?
so how do we get the bin empty? Because the bin is behind the black gate.
I pull it out every week.
Right,
I pull it out in front of the black bin and then they.
black gate.
Yeah.
Or would it not,
Just give the bin man the code.
or would it not be a good idea to fasten it to the black gates on the outside?
No.
You can either stick it on the outside, like Pete said, or give the company a code, because then because let's face it, bin lorries turn up to companies and they have to get access without putting people.
Well,
So
we did it every time. I think there was just one time that they actually came once and they said that they couldn't get in, but I'd be truthful, I think they changed the date because they used to come on one day and then they changed it to another day, so it was always.
If
we just give the company a code, then they've got it, haven't they? They can come do it.
I think people now, if it was where it used to be, they'd see it and they'd put it out. And empty. But they can't find it. The last thing I.
I would still charge us for putting it on there.
They've got contract. Okay, that's that one. The 1.6, so I think it's something that actually it's sort of mentioned. Please recommending that we have a bin bag dispenser on the wall to encourage people. I mean, people were handing out bin bags.
I'm on the light, yeah, because I used to hang, whenever I emptied that, hang them on the side and they were used.
But again, I think it's a big cost bin bags now. You know, they're expensive, they're not cheap.
What videos?
You know, the actual bin bags that go in them, they're expensive.
No, we use the ones that can pick up the thing.
You can't give them away.
What for the thought?
You know, but they're giving them to us, they're not giving them to us to give them.
Yes, but they're used by the people in
Yeah.
rubbish.
I think that's a very sort of dodgy
I
area.
do,
Cheshire is.
I do, yeah, because they're giving us for us to use personally, they're not.
I think particularly it's private land and Cheshire East have stopped doing so much work like grass cutting on private land. And they're looking for ways to save money
Because when I,
all over the place, aren't they?
Yeah.
When they're emptying bins on private land, they'd be another way they look at it.
when I asked for litter picking equipment as well, they wanted to know how many, and that they would come and collect what, when we finished with it.
I think we're just looking with our,
Yeah, we've got the house, can we have some more? 'Cause
I know that they have, but that's not for us to stick in a bin bag dispenser and start handing out.
I think what we're doing is, it's separate, Spencer. I'm just saying, because somebody said there's no point in putting it out. When I'm saying that we have actually done a similar thing by hanging the ones that the bin men give on the railings there. And they are used.
Just try it.
But I think it's not, the dispenser's not very expensive. Are not that expensive. And if it worked, it's going to save people a lot of effort in residence. And if it doesn't work,
It's the same old thing, isn't it? Loads of people will ignore it, but actually the majority of people, if you give them a bin bag, they'll put the rubbish in the bin bag and they'll take that bin bag to a bin.
Is it not another thing that you're making it more commercial, more facilitating? You know, I just get this feeling that we're pushing real,
Yes, I know what you mean, but
you know, we're making it into a bloody country park.
we're helping ourselves here.
Oh,
but if I could put the genie back in the bottle and the people stop coming, I can think of a way of doing that, I'd do it. But I can't, people keep coming. There's more people out Monday last week than I've ever seen. Over Drive, it's the worst it's ever been.
but it's not the worst it's ever been down at the lane.
I was going to suggest when we were talking about
That's what I
signs,
said.
we not have private land signs.
Yeah, well, that's with signage now, we can.
But I have to say, there are private land signs. I'm nearly sent it to them, but they are there. Very clearly.
Yeah.
And you can't walk through any of the entrances without seeing them. So I think that's the false objection of the people I didn't know. Yeah.
There's a very simple one that looks like a toilet roll holder.
Yeah.
Which was £10.
All right. So the proposal is that we get one of these dispensers, purchase some bin bags, and we try to see if it makes it. So we try go for people that are in favour of that.
Try it.
Yeah. Anybody against? Okay. 5-3. We'll give it a go. And also, it's something the police recommended them because they look, we're listening to you. Thank you very much for coming. Okay, this will be a good one. So, one of the issues is there isn't enough parking around the lake. And the police suggested that part of the land on the IROS could be made into a visitor car park to reduce antisocial parking in the roads around the lake. While the police noted there could be an argument this will encourage more visitors to the lake, they did point out that the lake will always be attracting people, and maybe embracing the situation is a better approach. Money could be raised from the car park at the IROS to fund further mitigation for paper items containing police report.
So why is it Pickmere Parish Council responsibility to provide a car park for all around the lake? Is that what it says?
Because the report was done by Cheshire West, not by Cheshire East.
Now, this report was done by the police, that crime prevention reduction was.
When we own a very small portion of land at the lake, they want us to take all the responsibility for parking around the lake.
I don't think that's the point. I think the point was, if you look at, like last week, there was some interesting things from Northwich Police. Cheshire Police are coming to pick. That's where the issues are. That's where the residents are complaining. And you have to be honest, if we did open it up, we did charge people £5 a car, we make a stack of cash, and there wouldn't be people parking on Clover Drive. So the question is, well,
all those.
less people. Yeah, most people with fibre they probably would park. guaranteed no tickets, guaranteed no towing.
They pay 30 quid to park because they don't care about tickets. I mean,
Towing.
the number of times that people have said, you say, you get a parking ticket, how much is that? 30 quid, which is five each. But some people are like that.
I agree with that, but also it's rather, I mean,
Well, they get a ticket.
my kids get punished, they're like, we don't care, they do, but they don't think they care.
The towing. Towing.
I love towing.
We open the IROS, and people come in, motorhomes, camper vans, and all the rest.
Well,
It's not bad for a fly, but stay in the weekend, no week, is it?
Well, then you could always
Well,
get
then
use
the-
out of the pavilion or start doing again in the bushes, so.
Yeah, well, no, Jane, you don't. You've got to stay in the pavilion's costing money. Simplest thing, but that is self-flushing, self-cleaning toilets. There you are, you've got your car park and toilets, and it's open to everybody. And that's the route that we seem to be going down. It's not the route I particularly want to go down.
Well, it's the route for, do you know what I think, Alison? I think it's the route for visitors, it's not the route for residents.
No, it isn't.
But it's what seems to be being very much pushed tonight by certain councillors.
But it's not only the councils, and it's the police that are pushing it.
Let's just stop there, breathe.
Right, exactly.
So can I just point out that we were discussing a report from the police? We as councillors are responsible for taking advice from the professionals and discussing them and deciding. There's nobody pushing anything here, and I would like to ask councillors not to make such accusations again. Thank you.
So in the week, I'd raised the issue of this. I have to say, I hadn't seen this report. I didn't know this even existed.
Well, you had a lovely time in Wales, Nick.
I was away in Wales, yeah. I think there's merits to this idea. I don't know how popular it would be in the village. I can't imagine there's going to be a majority of people in the council who vote for it. I don't even know that, I'm not even saying that we should do it, but it's an interesting idea.
Well, there are people in the village who've always maintained that.
Yeah, I just think, so, I mean, it really is quite spooky that he's saying very similar things to what I said the other day, but I genuinely didn't know this report even existed, certainly haven't read it. People are always going to come to the lake. I know they didn't used to, but now that they are coming,
It's out there.
it's out there. Now, I think there's more things that we can do, and, you know, we've discussed some things, I'm sure we're going to discuss other things, to try and make the place less attractive to the very large numbers of people coming, while hopefully not making it a less attractive place for us. But despite all of that, I think people are going to come and keep coming. So this might be a potential long-term solution, in that if you are generating a significant income from a car park, that can pay for security or a warden or whatever. This is what other places even in Cheshire have done. I don't remember the name of the place further south, but it's a different situation because they own the whole lake and it's owned by Asprey, yes, yeah. That's effectively what they've done. So there's the place,
Council owned.
there's the, pardon?
It's council owned.
It's not, no, it's owned by the fishing, I can't remember, there's Friends of Asprey and there's the fishing club.
This is the main that guy dived into and tried to sue,
Right, I know that.
and then they put all planting round to stop people getting in.
So there are techniques like this that can be done. The problem is that people in the village don't want the visitors to all disappear,
Yeah.
generally speaking. And I understand that sentiment. I'm just not quite sure that's ever going to happen. So I think it's an interesting idea.
But the thing of Asprey Mere was they stopped people swimming in it by doing that.
They did, yeah.
And that is one of the main things that will stop people coming to Pickmere Parish Council land. If you can stop them accessing the water, because the signs are all there. no fish, no swimming, no fires.
Fishing.
Other than but there are all those signs that are conveniently ignored, that yet we're told, oh, you have to do this because,
Yeah.
but it works both ways.
I don't think anyone's saying you have to do this. This is a way of mitigating against it and making money out of it. And I mean, if I get my personal opinion, I wouldn't want to repeat the mistakes of the past. And I don't think this is something that I would say we vote in council and decide one way or the other. I think it's something that you could have a poll within the village, even an informal one, and see with that. But if you ask me, you know, what you just mentioned, we repaired the lake frontage bit, and we said we were going to replant it, and we never did. As a council, we made that decision, and it's never been done. And for me, that would be a better option. It does come in the next bit where the police say you modify the area around the lake to make it less, you know, some congregate. But we managed the lake and we made a big flat area for people to congregate on. There was that'll be
Some
about
other owners have done that, what they
Yes.
Done what, sorry?
Planted.
planted it, and
That's it.
obviously fenced it to keep people off it while we're still growing. And then they claim to their land. And the only people who are doing it are, well, the places where all these people congregate. And Marston, they have the same problem, don't they? Yes, they do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I go back to the fact that we
That was
did,
fun.
Marston.
as council, we did decide that we weren't going to replant over the lake, and we were going to put a little fence around it.
Really trying something doing.
But we didn't do it. Why didn't we do it?
So somebody's actually only planting. You say that we were talking,
It's limits last time.
and it's worked.
We've only got to walk through.
Well, they fenced it first and then planted
Yes,
it.
but we missed off
But
that.
maybe it's all the can't fence.
Suddenly the leaves are growing out the water again.
The reeds are spread there.
Yeah, and suddenly it's, I mean, that's where all the wildlife disappears to,
Yeah.
because you've got all the.
So I think
All house
it's a bit too overgrown now. It did. It's becoming a bit too overgrown. And at one time, they could still come out and bask. There's no room for anything, so they've not really.
But it's that further on that where those trees were cut down, and then it was all where the boardwalk was. All that work that went on there, and everybody said, oh, it's going to be ruined, and people will be getting in the lake. All the reeds have come back and everything. And when we walked round last year, we walked along, and the reeds are that high, you can't see the lake in the middle of summer. And there's only one where that jetty, it's not jetty, slipway is. That's the only gap in the reeds. And there are no gaps in the reeds. And the land has become quite firm. And you can't get in the field next door, take that up because there's a ditch, there's a fence, and there's a hedge.
And that's got that back to.
And that is somebody else taking control of their land and stopping it being abused, basically.
Where I'd like us to go.
And all there is the footpath between the ditch, the fence, the hedge, and the reeds, and the lake. And it's a decent footpath to walk down, except in winter. And most footpaths are wet and muddy, aren't they?
I mean, that's what I'd look, ask to be like. Trees on water edge,
Yeah.
footpath,
Yeah.
ditch, fence,
Yeah.
and then the rest of the field. Sounds great.
Yeah, it's just a field. Oh, we're going to get all these visitors coming to Pickmere.
Probably.
No,
The
If there's no water.
the attraction is.
Yeah.
The
but somebody's shown us it
works.
works.
So we are running out of time.
Yeah.
We'd
like to move on.
Yeah. I mean,
At least try and finish it in January at this meeting.
but I didn't actually ever think we would this one.
No, I didn't, but
I mean, I think the I mean, there is merit in looking at how we can modify the lake, A, because it doesn't allow us to, it doesn't give us any legal problems. Whether it's interpretation or not. But I think maybe what I would like to propose is it worth running a little poll of the residents and put up some ideas and see whether
I think we should put this report out to the police.
it's on the website. It's available.
On the Facebook site or the
No, it's on the
parish council.
I can put back a link to the Facebook page.
Yeah.
I don't do Facebook, so I don't know.
It could go in the notice boards as well.
Yeah, well, it's a big wordy report, isn't it? For people to read, but I mean, if it was on the parish council website.
It is, you were saying
It is.
about a poll. Do we have a poll or do we have a village meeting?
I don't think we'll achieve much from a village meeting. I think what we need to do is do a litmus test as to, and as was demonstrated last time, a poll will give us an indication of how the village feels. It won't include everybody and not everybody will vote.
Yeah.
I think
The ones who vote and the ones who are
I think once we have a steer from the village what they would like to do, and it's just legally possible, then a meeting would be a good thing to talk to them about.
Well, if people are interested in the idea on a poll, then you can actually progress it, come up with something a bit more concrete, and then have a, see what people think about that. So,
Because I think it would be interesting to know, I have to say, I'm not personally in favour of opening up for the IROS for cars, but I'd be interested to know what the village think. I think rewilding is the only way forward personally. I think we already voted for it, but we haven't done it. I would be interested to know whether people think we should plough the field, scatter. But again, I've talked to people who are so for it, people that are so angry about it. But again, we could put all these things together. So, I mean, if people are happy for me to put a poll up and say, these are the suggestions from the police report, go read the police report, vote for each one, yes or no.
I think we need to do something because we're getting a lot of flack for doing nothing.
Yeah.
I
And,
expect we're doing nothing.
and for 2.5 years, perception is by the people, this parish council has done nothing.
Why do you think a meeting is not as good?
No, I think we need to get some, well, because I think we'll just end up with an unstructured.
Yeah.
I think it needs a directed meeting.
We need to know what the village are thinking. And then we need to, as Nick says, come with concrete proposals of how we might achieve what they're thinking. And it's difficult because, what people are thinking on Jacob's Way is different from what people think on Clover Drive. And I'm sure as we get further out, it's completely different. But we represent the whole village. We need to know what the whole, because in my opinion, the thing about the fence, in some ways it was not finding out what the people wanted, just assuming that the people that were speaking the loudest were the people that were right. Not always true.
7 minutes.
Okay.
Can I just interrupt because there is something that is important and it was on the maintenance as you said earlier.
Okay.
The tree at the top of Clover Drive, I can't think what tree it is, but it's the dead one.
Silver birch.
Yeah, it's the dead one. It does need to be cut down because it is getting quite dangerous and the high winds are coming. And I have had a quote, couldn't get that out then, of £350 to cut it down.
Take away the,
Yeah.
it's leaning.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to look at it up. I think we should take it down if it's dangerous.
It is.
And it was identified.
But we need
No.
to
Because that other tree guy is quite reasonable.
It was just a quote.
Right. So can I suggest that we empower the clerk to get quotes, and I guess go with the cheapest available, because just cutting down the trees, it's not the hugest civil village, is it?
No.
I might give a chance on it. No, that's fine.
The volunteers, we did say that we would do it,
Yeah, I think that.
and you said no.
Yeah, when I said the word chainsaw.
Risk assessment.
It's fine if I want to chainsaw my own trees, but I think, I'm not chainsawing the woods.
Sorry, I just wanted to, so yeah.
Did you get the
Are we all agreed that the clerk?
Did you get the volunteers to do it?
Yeah, great.
Okay, right. Okay. All right, so we're going to have a poll on some of the ideas on the police report. There is a thing on water safety equipment. We haven't got time to
Should bring that back to next week.
big levels, but I do want to point out that that's where your negligence possibly could be.
You could say it the other way around, you could say it's negligent, that we're actually got a no swimming sign up and we've put a thing in that then we.
As in my report, the law is very clear. If you know or suspect a risk is
Oh, no,
there
I'm supposed to be
and you
sorry.
own the land, it doesn't matter whether people should have been on the land in the first place,
We
you
don't
are
own the
legally
land.
responsible.
But we don't own the land underwater. Or we don't own the water.
We don't know.
I think that'd be-
We're on the land that's next to the water, so that's.
There's no swimming signs.
Doesn't matter,
No.
you're legally responsible.
If a 4-year-old child goes in there and drowns, we're potentially legally responsible,
Yeah.
Jane.
Yeah.
So,
Knows its parents.
Yeah, but in a situation where that would happen, God forbid it doesn't.
Yeah.
The fact
Why
is,
have
we
we got
have
to listen
people.
to, why have we got to listen to all these reports?
but
Because
the
that's what we do.
report from the
Well,
police.
why has nobody ever done it before in the last 50 years?
Done what?
Why has nobody in the last 30 years that we've owned the land ever put that one of them in?
What?
A rubber ring?
So,
They were there when I first moved to this village.
No, they weren't. They were there when Cheatham's were there. They've never been there afterwards.
They've been there in the time I've.
No, they've not. No, they weren't.
Recollections vary. Okay,
2 minutes.
right. On that happy note, just to confirm that we don't have an August meeting, so the next meeting will be Thursday, the 4th of September, 2025 at 7:45.
You have 9.5?
Do we get, I don't think we had four.
Yeah.
He did mention the last one in filing the, yeah, I just thought,
Did I miss the four?
yeah.
so,
There was a, sorry, there was meant to be a report, was it a report?
Yes.
Wait, where was it? I did not see it.
There's a quote.
It says to consider a quote for works on the islands.
I mean, that, wait, time, which one is it? 2 minutes. So, okay, there's no report. The land on it is peat. And I
It's
have
not peat. I'm
and,
sorry,
I
it's not
know.
peat. I've just actually done a test on it and it's not peat.
and I, think we hear a report on the impacts on to the wildlife. But also, we've just said that we're going to put that on the list of
Yeah.
things to ask the village.
Please don't say it's peat when it's not.
One of the problems is there is no wildlife.
Yeah.
Because the
It's about
authorities
itself.
stop doing that.
Well, also, the reed bed got chopped down, which hasn't helped the wildlife.
They move better on the land. Yes.
Cheshire Wildlife Report, the one of the major areas of high distinctiveness is the lake and the surrounding land.
Yeah.
And we've lost the treatment SI, and we're going to lose that as well.
I think we can do things to re-establish it. I think
Yeah,
that's what we need to be doing.
Read that, believe me, it's still a.
Yeah, the
Which we've seen further down the lane. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to close the meeting. It's 9:59 for that time, but we had put that on to the agenda.
That going on the next agenda, or was that going to on the poll?
Well, fire is one of the things that we have on the poll.
Yeah.
But I think we do need more information that maybe make more decisions.
Is lake happening? Lake.
Well, we have had one, but we,
We were going to get Cheshire Wildlife to come and talk to us, we still haven't had that.
no, because they've not come back to us.
Right. Could the clerk on that maybe?